Hey, Mega Moms, Jessica Hensley here with Real Estate Mega Moms, where we help moms create a life and a business that they love. Welcome to the podcast. I was talking to my book coach the other day. As some of you know, I'm writing a book, and I was talking to him about the podcast, and I said, I don't know how we're doing. I don't know how to gauge whether it's successful or not. I know we have a lot of faithful listeners, and we have around 4,000-ish downloads every single month. And he's like, well, let me tell you. So he looked it up, and we are in the top 5% of all podcasts that have to do with real estate. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I'm excited about that. I want to say thank you to our faithful listeners. If you haven't subscribed or liked or left us a review, if you would do that, we would really appreciate it. It helps us be able to bring you more content that's going to inspire you to do more, and again, to create that life and business you love. So today's topic is about abundance. Some have followed us for a while and maybe have attended our abundance conference. We are not talking about the abundance conference on this podcast, but I wanted to just share, we named that conference, back in 2019. And I think when we named it Abundance, it just sounded cool. We thought this is the right name for it. I really didn't have a core value of abundance at that time. It's something that it has become kind of my North Star. It has become something that I look to anytime I'm making decisions, or I kind of get in my feelings or start to feel a certain kind of way. I ask myself, am I living in a state of abundance? Am I practicing abundance? So I thought today we could talk about, what does abundance mean and how can it help you in your business and transform your life? As real estate agents, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle and just, the grind of selling real estate. And if we're not careful, a scarcity mindset will creep in. That's the opposite of abundance. And it's the belief that there is a limited resources, that if I have to hold on to everything that I'm doing and not approach life with an abundant mindset, which to me, the visualization I have is an open hand, right? So if you think about it, if I was to try to give you a gift, and imagine I wanted to give you $10,000, and they were all in $100 bills. But you were holding on to maybe 100 in this hand and another 100 in the other hand. And your hands, just imagine, if you're listening to this on our podcast, imagine your hands are balled up in a fist. And I'm like trying to give you money, and you're like, you're maybe trying to take it, like put your hands together, but you're not able to receive the $10,000 from me because you're holding on to your $200, $100 in each hand. To me, that's what abundance is. And the opposite of abundance is scarcity. It is when you are closed off, you've closed off your heart, you've closed off your mind to new opportunities, to new influences, to new people. And instead you're like, I know what I'm doing. I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to share anything. And what you've done is you've created this wall so that God cannot bless you with new opportunities, with new blessings, right? And so that is, to me, what it means to be abundant. And some ways that we can practice abundance and ways that we can kind of shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance are to ask ourselves just some simple questions. Whenever you are maybe going after a listing, for example, it is really easy to start thinking with a scarcity mindset of, I'm competing with this other agent. And you see somebody in your market or maybe in your office succeeding, and it's easy to think, oh, I can't believe she got another listing. What is so special about her? And, just having this, I believe scarcity brings out jealousy in us. It brings out insecurity in us. It brings out a lot of qualities that God doesn't want us to have and that we shouldn't have. It's not going to help us in the future. Me envying someone and being jealous of someone and thinking negative thoughts towards someone is distracting me from my purpose. Right? It's distracting me from refining my skill. It's distracting me from going after new business. It's distracting me from being creative and improving. The better way to approach that, if you see someone in your market that's succeeding at a high level, rather than looking at them, and this is the natural state, right? We're human. Our natural state is scarcity. Our natural state is self-preservation. But what's so funny is, the opposite is what will get us farther. The opposite. It reminds me of a Bible verse. Okay. One of my favorite Bible verses about this topic is in Proverbs, and this is the King James Version. I just think it's poetic, right? So we're gonna dissect it here in a second, but Proverbs 11:24, King James Version. There is that scattereth and yet increaseth, and there is that withholdeth more than is meet, but it tendeth to poverty. I should have looked this up in other versions, but essentially what it's saying is there is a person, like think of back in this time, most everyone to survive, right? They had to be farmers. They had to grow their food. So think of somebody that has seeds and they're scattering seeds around a field. And this Bible verse is saying that maybe someone would think, I need to put it all in one place, or I need to save these seeds. But this person that's scattering the seeds, it's going to increase. It's going to grow up, right? But the person that's going to withhold them more than is necessary, it's going to help. It's going to make them tend to poverty. And I think the same applies in our life. The more we give, we've all heard this too, the more you give, the more you will receive. And if you adopt this as a core value and a core principle and a North Star and guiding light in your life, I promise you, your life will improve. But it is a daily practice, and it's something that we really have to push ourselves to think this way. Because again, we're human, right? And our natural tendency is to be in scarcity, have scarcity mindset. So some ways I try to stay in it, the ways that help me is just being really honest and self-reflective and asking myself, is this feeling, is this intention, is it scarce? Is it thinking there's limited resources, or is it knowing that there is an abundant and unlimited resources available to me in this world, right? So I just ask myself that question. I also try to begin my day with a state of gratitude. And I know that these go hand in hand. Gratitude and abundance go hand in hand. So the way I do this is there's a couple things I do. One, when I wake up, if I'm journaling, I'll write down what I'm thankful for. But I also will end my day praying. And everyone knows I'm a Christian, and obviously that is something that's a core value and a core belief for me. And so when I'm going to bed, I'm praying. And this is how I fall asleep every day. And I just say, dear Heavenly Father, thank you. And I go down my list. And that, first of all, I go to sleep no problem because it eliminates worry. It really does. Whenever I'm focusing on what is good in my life and the blessings that God has brought into my life, it's impossible for me to focus on worrying. And negative and scarcity. It's just, you can't have both, right? Your mind can only focus on one thing at a time, truly. So I guess that's the other piece of this in being abundant, is having control over your mind. Knowing that what you focus on is what will expand, right? Those of you that have gone through BOLD, that's one of their BOLD principles, right? What you focus on expands, and it's so true. Whatever I'm going to bring my attention to is what's going to happen. So I hope that this was inspirational and motivating, and hopefully gave you some, good food for thought for this week. But I'm so excited to get to bring this podcast. I'm excited that it's been so successful, and that's because of each and every one of you. As always, if you want to learn more about what we do here at Real Estate Megamoms, you can always just send us a message on Facebook or Instagram. You can go to our website at realestatemegamoms.com.